Hi everybody, happy Friday. We hope you had a really nice week. Miss L and I wanted to share one last L book with you. This one is called Larry Gets Lost in Philadelphia. So we thought we could take a little field trip to Philadelphia in our imagination. If you've been to Philadelphia before, you're going to see a lot of familiar places in this book. And if you've never been there before, then you're going to be in for a real treat because you're going to learn a lot about some of the places in Philadelphia that you can go visit. So this is called Larry Gets Lost in Philadelphia. It's illustrated by John Skewes and written by Michael Mullen and John Skewes. This is Larry and this is Pete. They like riding together in the back seat. Today they were headed somewhere brand new. They drove their red car across a bridge painted blue. Has anyone ever gone across the Blue Bridge before? We take this over to the aquarium, to the New Jersey beaches. It's the big bridge. It's called the Ben Franklin Bridge. At 1,750 feet, this was the longest bridge when it was completed in 1926. It connects Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Camden, New Jersey. This is the Delaware River flowing underneath, and this is Penn's Landing over here. This is the waterfront area where William Penn, founder of the state of Pennsylvania, docked in 1682. They passed a stadium where baseball teams play. Then it was off to eat lunch not too far away. This is Citizens Bank Park, so if you've ever been to a Phillies game before, this is where the Phillies play. It says, this is the home of the Major League Baseball Philadelphia Phillies, the American sports team that boasts the longest continuous time with the same name in the same city since 1883. Dad ordered 3 sandwiches, all with whiz, while poor Larry was left to look around for his. In a place like this, scraps were easily found. When he ran to get one, Pete was no longer around. See him over here? He's looking around. I don't see Pete anywhere. This is Pat's and Gino's Steaks. The King of Steaks and Gino's Steaks stand across the street from each other. Pat's is credited with inventing the city's signature sandwich, the Philly cheesesteak. Anybody like cheesesteaks? They're pretty yummy. There was no time to lose. Larry had to find Pete. He began his search on an old-fashioned street. This is a street called Elfreth's Alley. People have lived here continuously since 1702, making this one of the oldest residential streets in the United States. Through a fence, he saw a yard with rows of carved rocks and a little house with a big flag after walking 2 blocks. This is the Betsy Ross house. Built around 1740, this is believed to be the house where Betsy Ross lived. She's often credited with sewing the first American flag, but it may not be true. This is the Christ Church burial ground, which was a cemetery and the final resting place of Benjamin Franklin and 4 other signers of the Declaration of Independence. Larry came to a house made out of thin air. It was easy to see that Pete wasn't there. That's the Franklin Court, the site where Ben Franklin's house once stood on Market Street. Franklin was one of the founding fathers of the United States, a leading author, printer, politician, postmaster, scientist, musician, and inventor. Franklin is sometimes called the first American because of his influence on the formation of the country. Larry found a big bell with a crack running down it. Don't blame me, Larry thought. I didn't do it. Has anyone ever seen the Liberty Bell? This is the Liberty Bell. Forged in 1752, the bell hung in the steeple of the Pennsylvania State House and became an iconic symbol of American independence. It reads, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land, unto all the inhabitants thereof." It originally cracked soon after its arrival from London. He saw oh, can you see him anywhere? I don't see him. Oh, here he is down here. There's Larry. He saw a tall brick bridge in a crowded city square. Something very important must have happened in there. This is Independence Hall. This is where the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States were signed. And this is Congress Hall over here. And here's the George Washington statue. One of the founding fathers of the United States, Washington was the commander of the Continental Army during the American Revolution. He presided over the creation of the Constitution and was the country's very first president. A guy way up high seemed to point down to the street. He had a good view. Could he have seen Pete? Do you see Pete? He's all the way down there. That's Center City, and this is City Hall. It says at 548 feet. This was one of the tallest skyscrapers in the world when it was completed in 1901. It's still the largest municipal building in the country. It's even bigger than the United States Capitol. Until 1987, no building in the city could be higher than the brim of William Penn's hat. While Pete searched a park in the middle of the city, Larry explored a fun place that made him feel itty-bitty. So these are big sorry pieces and dominoes and a big clothespin. This is Rittenhouse Square, one of the 5 town squares originally planned for Philadelphia by William Penn in the 1600s. The neighborhood has become one of the most famous and desirable addresses in the city. Pete worried about Larry while surrounded by art, and in that moment, Larry felt Pete in his heart. So it looks like Larry's over here in the art it says the Barnes Foundation. Albert Barnes was a successful physician and chemist whose private art collection is one of the most valuable in the world. He arranged his paintings in groups with furniture and other objects. While Larry was over here at JFK Plaza. This plaza is known as Love Park because of the famous love sculpture by Robert Indiana placed there in 1976. Frogs, turtles, and swans couldn't help the lost pup, but Larry saw a statue that told him not to give up. This is the Swan Memorial Fountain, known as the Fountain of the Three Rivers. The 3 sculptured figures represented the area's 3 major waterways: the Delaware, the Schuylkill, and the Wissahickon. And this statue over here is of Rocky Balboa. This statue depicts the actor Sylvester Stallone as the boxer who famously ran up the steps of the Philadelphia Art Museum in the film Rocky. This statue was made for his scene in Rocky III. Next up was a mountain of stairs to climb. Larry braced himself, then took them 2 at a time. This is the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Completed in 1928, it is one of the largest museums in the United States, welcoming nearly 1 million visitors every year. At the top was a man who asked, "Are you all alone?" He checked Larry's collar, then took out his phone. Pete was so happy when that call came through. Dad made plans to meet Larry and the man. Here's the Market Frankford line. This train line is also known as the Blue Line, or the L, short for elevated train. At the zoo, here's the Philadelphia Zoo. I hope many of you have been to the zoo, I'm sure. Opened in 1874, this is the first zoo in the United States. And as the sun went down, as they drove away, this is Boathouse Row. Rowing clubs use these boathouses on the eastern bank of the Schuylkill River, and the houses light up every night. It has been an exhausting, adventurous day. It looks like they had a lot of fun in Philadelphia, so I know, hopefully if you've never been there, maybe one day you'll get to go there. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of sightseeing, and maybe you'll see some of the things that we saw in the book. All right, we hope you guys have a great weekend, and we hope to see you guys back again soon. Bye.